Took our luggage right away.
This you're going to take it with you?
Yeah, this one would take it.
This is the waiting area. They walked us straight through security and brought us into the waiting area. It's 10:08 in the morning. I don't think we can get on until 10:30, so. Hi.
Hi, we're the Kings.
We were supposed to do that in sync, but it didn't happen. So we are the Kings. If you've seen our other video, our first video, we were on Carnival Venezia. So now we are on Symphony of the Seas in a Star Loft suite. With that comes Star Class service. And we wanted to give a video explaining what the expectations are, how everything works. I didn't really find anything on YouTube prior to our cruise, so I wanted to be able to put that out there for everybody.
Well, we did actually find some stuff on YouTube and even through Royal Caribbean, but a lot of it is outdated stuff. If you've ever looked up Star Class, you might have seen the video of that like blonde hair guy from South Africa, popping up with popcorn and all that other stuff. Those videos are basically from 2016, which is way back when Royal started the whole Royal Genie and Star Class service, and what Star Class is now compared to back then when they first started is they're completely night and day. So none of those videos are accurate at all. Well,
yeah, and we're talking about the video of I think it's the Royal Loft Suite, that I think there's a family in the Royal Loft Suite, and the Genie's bringing them cake and in the room using the coffee maker and making popcorn and doing all these things. And it's supposed to showcase, it's basically like a commercial or a promotion put out by Royal Caribbean. It's really the only thing you really find on YouTube, and like my husband said, it's outdated, so we wanted to give an update of what Star Class is like now in 2023 going into 2024. So we left on our first transatlantic from Barcelona, and we have the Star Class service. So we have, where do we begin? So Star Class, you have the Royal Genie, and you receive an email from the Royal Genie about 2 to 4 weeks prior to your sailing. My husband, did you get the email first or me? I can't remember. One of us got the email.
They emailed you. So yeah, she got the email from our Royal Genie, basically introducing themselves and asking if there are any specific, if you're celebrating anything, if there's any specific requests or anything like that you have, that sort of thing.
Yeah, so it gave a rundown of the services and information about the cruise. And then you can respond to that and let the Genie know if there's anything specific that they need to know about you, if you have any requests or anything, just an introduction. So we went ahead and told the Genie right away what we prefer in the room, extra pillows, extra blanket, dietary needs, the things that we're looking for during our cruise. We knew that we wanted to do the escape room here on the ship and different things like that. So we listed all of that out. We also knew that we were going to do the chef's table, so we let him know about the my dietary restrictions. So we took care of that, and then it was just back and forth discussing the dinner reservations, the timing, which places we wanted to go, and such. So that's about 2 to 4 weeks out, up until the time that you board. You'll have, continuous contact with them if you're emailing back and forth, or if, everything's set in an email, in 1 or 2 emails, then you would just see them when you board.
That's also when you give the list of things, because they fully stock your room with whatever types of drinks you prefer to have. Like, if you want a specific type of beer like stocked in the room, they'll stock that, and you'll have a bunch of those, or bottles of some type of champagne or anything like that, specific drinks. Like in our case, we have like a lot of Coke Zero, Sprite Zero, apple juice, that sort of thing. But and so that's like something that they tailor specifically to what it is that you request in relation to what they have available on the ship. I know there was like some like previous things where they were like getting stuff that for some people that they don't normally have on the ship, and that's probably something that would more likely than not, more likely it's unlikely to happen. If it's something they don't normally have on the ship, generally speaking, you're probably not going to be able to get it unless it's a Genie that's going above, really above and beyond, and going and doing something on their own. But generally speaking, and following like how they're handling things now, that they'll do whatever they can within their like normal means.
Yes, I totally forgot about that. Yeah, so I drink a lot of water. We told them we want a lot of water in the room, and I had about 3 different options of water when we got here. It was fully stocked with sparkling water, still water, different types of water, like a bottle of water, and also like a large glass of Evian. And like a large quantity of each one of those. So they will stock whatever you want. We asked for like diet soda, so they stocked up like a whole bunch of Coke Zero and Sprite Zero, like my husband said. So they will do that. So definitely let them know if there's anything specific you want in the room. Moving on, we have the arrival. So when you get to the embarkation day, you should be told, well, in advance, you should have your luggage tags printed and on your luggage. You should be told where to go from your Genie's email. They should tell you where to board. So in Barcelona, he specifically said go to Terminal C. So Symphony of the Seas is pretty large. Pretty large, and they were taking up both B and C at the terminal. So he said to specifically go to Terminal C. We'll see the Star Class entrance, and that we go there and they'll take care of us. So that's exactly what we did. As soon as we got out of the car, one of the porters came right over to the car, took all the luggage, and walked up with us to the Star Class entrance. You do not let the porters take the luggage and put them with everybody else's luggage. You have to take the luggage to the entrance with you, and then they tag it with their own Star Class tags, and they take it from there, and they basically like get it onto the ship pretty much right away. So it doesn't go with all the other luggage from the other passengers to be put on the ship, hours later. So make sure that you're, getting the proper information from your Genie. It could change depending on your departure port, or like, what the terminal is like. But you should be going up to the Star Class entrance, which is like a pretty like purple, this color, if you could see it.
Yeah, basically it's like they'll have like a little banner like that goes like, it's like an up and down like banner that says Star Class on it, and it's it's not something you generally like miss, but pretty much you're supposed to take, and rather than handing your bags off to the porter like you normally would, you're gonna take your bags with you straight to that area, and they'll have the person who handles the bags and puts those the Star Class tags directly on the bag for you, because the original luggage tags that you get that you're going to print out at home, which has your stateroom number on them, that's going to look like any of the regular suite luggage tags. So that's going to be different than what they're going to be adding on at the terminal, those purple tags.
Yeah, and if there's anything you still want to walk on the ship with, like a carry-on bag, you could still do that. So we had a bunch of luggages that they tagged and took from us at that point, at that entrance, and we still brought on our work computers like in a carry-on bag. So we don't give that away to the porters ever, just because we don't want it like dropped or thrown around, or like We don't want we don't want to chance our laptops being broken, so we just don't hand that off just to make sure nothing happens. So you can walk on the ship with that. So what happens is they take your bags, and then somebody from the team, either your Genie, will come down and get you, or they have like an officer walk you through the security. So you bypass everybody else. They brought us through the entrance. They took us through the security pretty quick. Nobody was there yet. So it was just us. We put our stuff on the belt, we walked through. And then at that time, they weren't ready to bring us up yet to the ship. It was still early. I think the other passengers were still getting off the ship or still finishing up, like leaving. So they put us in a separate section, actually labeled for Star Class. It's different than the Pinnacle section or the Diamond section, Suite section. So it was specifically for Star Class. And then the Royal Genie came down and met with us. He introduced himself. He said to just give it a few minutes and he will bring us up. And then I think he had like 3 other families there at the same time in that area. So he walked us all up onto the ship himself. So that was pretty straightforward. We walked right onto the ship, and then he brought us to the suite lounge to wait for anybody's rooms that weren't ready. Our room was ready at that time, so he left everybody in the suite lounge, walked us directly to our room, gave us our CPAS cards, and showed us our wristbands, which everybody gets, and our CPAS cards. And he, basically showed us the room really quickly, but we were familiar with it from watching YouTube videos. And then he just went over like our day, like our lunch plans, our dinner plans. And then he told us our luggage would be in the room shortly. And then he left to go get everybody else's stuff on the, he went to get everybody else to their room. So, and we were able to start our day right away. We didn't have to worry about like getting reservations made. We didn't have to worry about doing anything. We were able to start our vacation immediately. The luggage comes to the room within an hour. He even said a half hour, but we left the room. So it might have been there within 30 minutes, but we went to lunch. When we got back to the room, the luggage was there. So you can unpack pretty much right away. Again, we were able to start our vacation, go have lunch, and explore the ship right away. So it was great. We bypassed everything. Anything else about boarding?
Nothing else. The only other thing that I can think of to note is your contact with the Genie beforehand. I know we mentioned about the email that initially they'll email you. Once you get like closer to the sailing, I don't remember. I want to say maybe about a week out. I think it was that he gave us. He contacted us through WhatsApp, which is one of the contact methods that they do, which works pretty well because you're going to have the internet package included in your Star Class. You'll be able to use that to communicate like once you're on the ship and out at sea, aside from being able to communicate with the Genie more easily beforehand. So that's like an app that you definitely, if you don't already use it, it's a pretty simple app to use that you're basically like kind of like text messaging back and forth. And in our case, we had like a group message, so it was just both of us and then plus our Genie in one like group text where we were able to more easily talk back and forth, and that's where he provided us like the full like breakdown of like all our reservations and everything like that.
Yes, I did forget about that. That was huge. I think he actually sent us his phone number in one of the emails, and then I think I went ahead on WhatsApp. I think he gave us his phone number letting us know that we could talk to him on WhatsApp, and I created the group message so for the 3 of us, and I just named it Symphony of the Seas Transatlantic and our room number 1722. That way he could see the group name and it was easier for him to know who we are and when he's talking to us, because you got to remember when he's communicating with you back and forth in email, he has other families on the ship with him at that time that he's also taking care of. So you got to remember he's dealing with the Genie, he or she is dealing with a lot of other families. So the communication from that point, we didn't have to email back and forth with. So leading up to getting on the ship, our communication was actually via WhatsApp, and it was actually great. I just remember now that you brought it up, the night before we were getting on, I think he actually messaged us to say, like, are you ready? Like, you know, like, we're getting on. And, like, you know, we were able to tell him that morning. I messaged, oh, we're leaving our hotel at 10 a.m. Can't wait to see you soon. So, you know, it is great because they do communicate with you beforehand, and, you know, like, they're ready and waiting for you. So you kind of feel like you know the person already.
Yeah, and just like to break down the Genie, the Royal Genie, there's 3 Royal Genies on each ship that utilizes the Star Class system, which is all the Oasis class ships, the Quantum ships, the Quantum Ultra, and then now we're gonna have the Icon class ships and whatever other large ships like classes that they create later on. So there's 3 Genies on each ship. Each Genie is responsible for 3 to 4 staterooms. So, like, for instance, on the Symphony of the Seas, there's a total of 11 rooms, 11 staterooms that are Star Class. So 2 of the Genies will have 4 rooms, and then 1 of the Genies will have 3 rooms. And they rotate. They're not assigned to a specific room. Normally, it kind of rotates, like on whatever schedule they use, where they'll each have different rooms, like, each time for, like, each of the different sailings.
Yeah, so our Genie confirmed that they do rotate the rooms. They don't always have the specific rooms like he said, and I don't think it depends. I originally thought maybe it depended on the amount of people in each room. Maybe they broke it up and balanced it out, but it doesn't seem like that. They just rotate the rooms. So like right now, I think our Genie has 11 people, right? And us, and including the other families, the other rooms that he has. But the next sailing, we get off the ship tomorrow morning. So the people coming on, I think he's gonna have 22 people. So he'll be taking care of twice the amount of people starting on the next sailing. So it all rotates. I think you can possibly request a Genie if you know which Genies are on the ship ahead of time, but I'm not sure how to do that. So we wanted to really get into the Genie services and what to expect, because that was what I really found to be lacking before getting on the ship. That was something, like, we didn't know what really to ask for, what might be too demanding, what's normally asked for, what we can expect in reality. So like my husband said, we talk with the Genie through WhatsApp. Prior to boarding, we already set our reservation schedule, so we already had a mock dinner schedule made up. So that was set. You can always change it. You can always let them know the same day or a couple hours before if you want to change your dinner time, or let's say cancel it, make a different reservation for a different restaurant, or cancel it altogether and have dinner in your room. We ended up doing that a couple nights. That's really nice that you can just have them bring everything to your room. And when I say they bring everything, they literally come with a tablecloth, salt and pepper shakers, everything that you can think of they come with, and they make your table, whether inside or outside, wherever you want it. They're really very good. I will say that I just want to add, I don't think they get tipped when they do that. Like when you go to the restaurant, even though you're not paying, because you get like the dining package through Star Class, you're signing a receipt. You can add an additional tip, even though 18% gratuity is kind of included already. You can add an additional tip, whether it's $5, $10, $20, whatever you want to add in addition if you feel like they gave really good service. But when they come to the room, you're not signing anything. So I don't think they're getting tipped. It wasn't able to be determined, but we didn't see the room service charges show up on our account like we were seeing it when we have gone like physically to the restaurant. So if they are coming to your room, I'm gonna say you probably wanna have some cash ready. Throw them $5 or $10, depending on what you're ordering. or higher if you want, but just have a tip ready because they're not getting anything, I don't think.
And I think we also noticed like it's not necessarily the same people, even though there's only a certain amount of people in room service, and even though there might be a room service team specifically like dealing with Star Class, the variety of people will change. So we probably across our 14 days and all the different times, I feel like we probably saw anywhere from like 6 to like 7 different people bringing
At least,
the food to the room at each of those times. So
yeah, originally we weren't tipping because we thought it was going to be the same people each time, because I think the same person came the first 2 days when we ordered breakfast or whatever to the room, and then so we thought we would tip later on at the end of the cruise, and then all of a sudden the people changed and it was different every time. It's different depending, I think, on what restaurant you're ordering from. So like if you wanted some food from Chops for lunch and they came to your room, or yesterday we ordered Izumi for dinner, and it was I think somebody from that restaurant that actually brought it, I'm not sure. So it is different people that are coming each time. So if you think you're going to hold off till the end of the cruise, you might not want to. So just something to think about and know beforehand. So what else can we expect? So the Genie, we found out, cannot deliver food outside of your room. So like if you're sitting in one of the lounges, let's say Dazzles or On Air, and you're about to play trivia, but you're really hungry and you don't want the pizza, you want like food from one of the restaurants, they cannot deliver it to that spot. He said it's part of like the regulations, whatever it is. They're
like health regulations. So there may be, there may have been a time where Genies were doing stuff like that. Our people even now might still be doing it, but because of health regulations, they're not actually allowed to do that. In terms of food, like now when it comes to like drinks, that's different, because as it is, you're already having like bar servers bringing you drinks. So that sort of thing, like they can bring you Starbucks. If you're sitting at a show and you want a Starbucks drink instead of like one of the drinks from the servers, the Genies will go out to the Starbucks and get the drink for you and bring it back to you.
Yeah, or a milkshake from Johnny Rockets. Don't forget, Johnny Rockets has milkshakes. Yeah, so the drinks they can bring to you, you can message your Genie at any time and say, we're in the room, can you bring a Frappuccino to the room? And they'll do that. If either they will do it personally or they'll have somebody else bring it to you. But for something small like that, they might just bring it up themselves. So a lot of the requests, you have to remember, the Genies are doing different things and they might have other families to take care of. So any request that you send them via Messenger or however you're communicating with them, they will either do it themselves or they could have somebody else do it for them. So don't be concerned if somebody else is there to meet you at a venue and show you to your seats, if your Genie had to be somewhere else at the same time. We didn't experience that for the most part. Anything he saved like seats for, they tell you to meet them 15 minutes before outside the venue. And, originally you would tell them what kind of seats you like for a certain show, they could recommend like the front row, or they could say, hey, the mezzanine's better for this kind of show. How about I seat you in the first row of the mezzanine? So you let them know if that's okay, or you want an aisle seat, anything like that. Every day there was different shows, headliners, comedy, Hairspray, which is fantastic, the ice shows, you got the Aqua Theater, so there's all different shows to see. So they ask you to meet them 15 minutes before. So if the show is at 9 p.m., you go at 8:45 and you will see them standing out in front of that venue waiting for you, and you walk right up and they take you to the seats that are reserved. It has like the same color, if you can see it, but it's all the same color, like a purplish magenta, reserved, what do you call it, like a silk thing on the chair. So if you don't show up before the show starts, then they will take it off the seats and open that up to the public. So, make sure that you're getting there in time. The Genie is the Genies, plural, are going beforehand and reserving all those seats for you. So if you're not going to go, let them know. And if you do want seats, let them know in advance so they can get there as early as possible to do that for you.
Also, like for any of those shows where normally you would have to make reservations for the show, like in the app beforehand, for when you're in Star Class, you don't need to actually make reservations for that. So when you meet the Genie there, they'll just walk you right through, and nothing's going to be scanned for you, like, or they're not going to look at your reservation like how they normally would for all the other people. You just meet the Genie there, and they will take you straight there. And in terms of the seating like being held, that specifically applies to like any of the shows that you make reservations for. The regular comedy shows. It doesn't include the comedy show in the Royal Theater that normally they'll do like at the end. But pretty much anything else, it doesn't include any of like the game shows, whether they do it in the Royal Theater or any of the other venues. They can't hold seats for you there. For instance, whatever the music venue is, I know I've seen people ask questions about that before as well. Like, can they reserve a seat for you, like in on air or something like that, or whatever it is that.
That would be nice, because on air never has enough seating. But no, they cannot hold seats for you there. Pool seats. I think I've seen people ask about pool chairs. They do not hold pool chairs for you. There is a suite deck, 17 forward. You have to go to 16 and walk up the stairs, but there is a suite deck that you can go to. It was never full. I think there was always chairs available. Maybe not a day bed, those fill up obviously, but I think there was chairs available to always go up there and sit up there if you want. But they cannot hold chairs for you like that. They can hold chairs for you at like the major shows, but not like my husband said, at like game shows like the Love and Marriage show or Battle of the Sexes. Like we just saw another show tonight, but at those type of games like trivia, they're not going to hold seats for you. They're going to tell you that they're not allowed to do that. So just keep that in mind. Communicate with the Genie what you want to see and when, and they'll work with you. If the show's canceled and it's scheduled another day, they'll hold seats for you at that time. Like my husband said, you do not have to make the reservations in the app. And if somebody tries to stop you, which is most likely at the Royal Theater, I know for some of our shows, the Genie was kind of like standing inside the theater, and the staff is outside checking your CPAS card, making sure that you had a reservation, because the theater fills up. So they do limit like how many people can get that reservation per show. So, if you're walking through the doors and they try to stop you and say, do you have a reservation? Just say, I'm a Star Class, or I'm meeting my Genie, and they're like, oh, okay. And they just let you go through. Very nice. Don't be offended. Don't, be worried about anything. Just let them know that you're in Star Class and you're meeting your Genie, and they'll be like, okay. And your Genie will probably see you by that point and walk up to you anyway. What else can you expect from them? So I mentioned the drinks, the food. If there's anything special, like a celebration, and you want a cake or you want a little party in your room, they can do that. Give them a little time to accommodate it and work around it, and they'll make that happen, whatever you want to do. If you want, I know they've done like ice cream parties in the room. Our Genie mentioned that somebody made, I think, margaritas in the room. I think that he once had a family that liked, or a person that liked margaritas, and they wanted to have like a margarita bar in their room. So they brought everything into the room that they can mix their own margaritas. So anything that you really want. If you like to have a snack in your room every day, a certain snack, let them know, they'll make it happen. If you want coffee delivered every day at 7 a.m., a certain coffee, they'll make that happen. So just communicate. Don't get annoyed if they're not doing something you expect. Each Genie has their own personality, so every Genie will do things differently. Some Genies will be more face-to-face contact. Other genies will kind of like step back and let you message them whenever you want something, because they might be worried they don't want to overstep and be in your space. So you're going to remember, everybody is human, everybody has their own personality. They're trying to figure out what makes you happy and what you want. And some genies are more like, might be affectionate, might give you a hug. Other genies might be like, like, just let me know what you want and I'll be out of your hair. So definitely communicate. That's the best thing you could do, is communicate what you like, what you don't like, what you want. Ask them questions. Can you do this? Can you not do this? I think that's the biggest thing, because a lot of people ask questions on Facebook, and the best thing to do is just communicate. Let them know in advance. You can start even with the emails, asking questions.
And I think the other thing to cover, like in terms of like the whole Star Class and some of the other things that the Genie is doing is, along with Star Class, you also get access to. Usually they'll do a Star Class session of the escape room. Assuming you're on a ship that has an escape room, which I believe all the ships that have Star Class service, I believe, do have the escape rooms, except for I think Allure of the Seas. I think
Because they weren't amped
yet.
yet.
They weren't amped. They
At
never
this
had
point,
that
they're not
added,
amped.
but I believe most of the other ships should have the escape room. So that's something that they'll do a special Star Class session of that, where you won't have to pay for that.
Yeah, so if you made a reservation online already before the cruise, you can cancel that and just go through your Genie, because they'll set you up with that.
They'll set up a session specifically to go do a bridge tour, and also a galley tour as well. Generally, it seems like your actual Genie, so they'll actually put together like a group of the rooms that they're covering for that sailing. So like the people that you do the escape room with will probably be from that same group that are also with your same Genie. And the same thing with the bridge tour and the galley tour. It might vary a little bit, like depending on how many people your Genie is like servicing. Like for instance, if they have a villa suite and they have like 12 people in that villa suite, obviously that by itself is going to be like that's the max for an escape room. So they might have to break something like that up, and obviously they can't bring that many people onto the bridge at one time. So that might change it slightly, but generally it'll be the same people that your Genie has. I know they also do a special session for the flow rider as well. So usually it'll be like early in the morning. I think generally on a sea day, they'll have one side of the flow rider that's specifically just for the Star Class people, where you can go there and it'll just be the other people in Star Class. Like the way it worked out for us, I actually went and I did it one of the mornings, and I was literally the only person from Star Class that went. So I like had that. The other side, the other flow rider was doing like I think advanced or self-assist stand-up. And on the Star Class side, it was like basically whatever I wanted to do. Like I had to think to myself for an entire hour. What else? I mentioned the galley tour, the bridge tour.
Yeah, let them know what you're interested in, and they'll see if they could do it. So they used to do a backstage tour to meet like the cast and crew of like the shows, but it sounds like since COVID that stopped. I think because it was affecting the show cast. I think like they got
like
sick from one person.
there was an incident where a Star Class person went to meet the cast from a show. The person that went to meet the cast from the show ended up testing positive for COVID, which at that time the entire cast had to like quarantine because they had direct contact with someone that tested positive for COVID.
So they stopped doing that.
So yeah, it's not something it's not a regular thing that they do anymore. It does seem like, and I have seen some people have been able to schedule, if it's possible, the Genie might be able to get like some type of like special like meeting some of the cast of like, of like if whatever show is going on your ship. You might be able to get something set up that you can meet some of the cast members. Since obviously they're just, they're crew members, so, they're available based on their own schedule. So it's possible that they could schedule something and set something up where you can meet them. But generally speaking, it's the actual, like, that backstage tour itself is not something that's offered anymore.
Yeah,
like,
that's
a
not going to be
service.
scheduled for you. What else do they do?
I know they also used to include part of Star Class, which is a couple of the other things that was removed. The sushi making class also, that used to be included for Star Class, and that's not included anymore. And also the cupcake, the cupcake decorating, that also used to be included, but is no longer included anymore as well. I know one of the other, I guess one of the other things is the dining package. So you get what's called the ultimate dining package is included in Star Class. The regular, what people refer to as the UDP, is actually the unlimited dining package. So for Star Class, it's actually slightly different. Some of the limitations that you have on the unlimited dining package don't apply to that special, like, ultimate dining package. So, like, for instance, at, like, Playmakers, normally you would have a daily limit for at any of the a la carte places. But when you're in Star Class, those limits, like, don't apply. It's basically whatever you want from the restaurants. You can pretty much
whatever you want, as much as you want, you can have it. You can walk into, I forgot what it's called now, sugar something, where they sell candy. So you can walk in and you don't get products for free. So, like, you can't walk in and get one of their, like, stuffed animals or a bag of candy for free. But the ice cream that they have there, which used to be Ben & Jerry's, it's not on this ship. I thought they would have a Ben & Jerry's, but it's not. The ice cream that is sold is in sugar. I think there's like I think it's actually more, the name is bigger.
Yeah.
But so whatever's called sugar, which is where they have the ice cream, you can walk in and get a 3-scoop sundae, some toppings and whipped cream. You give them your room number and that's it. They don't do anything. So don't worry about, you could do that 2-3 times a day if you want.
Or 4 times or 5 times.
In Playmakers, like he said, don't worry about, like, the pricing. So you can order wings and french fries and a Playmaker sundae and, like, whatever you want. You're not limited, so order what you want.
And the same thing, and also, like, in terms of Izumi as well, it works the same way, because normally the sushi is a la carte. So with that, you don't have to worry about the individual, like, those daily limits or any of that stuff. Like, anything you order is all included as part of that special, like, dining package that the Star Class people get.
And for the most part, the staff recognizes and knows the Star Class card as soon as they see it. So, like, they see the color. It says Star Class in the corner. You get these wristbands, which you can use to open your door. It actually works at the casino too. So you can, instead of scanning your card, like holding your card to the slot machine, you can actually use your wristband. It's a little annoying, but it's better if you don't want to take out your card. It's fine. For us girls, I think it's, hard if you don't have pockets and you're walking around. It's easier to just use your wristband.
Yeah, and these are the WOW bands, which Royal had instituted a while back, and they actually had gotten rid of them for a while, and they more recently now brought them back again. So now now that they're using those again, they're giving those to Star Class, where you're getting a WOW band automatically, because now they charge for those. When I think it's like $10 or something like that. Now you can pay to get a WOW band but for Star Class, they give those to you automatically, and they're a completely different color than the ones that people are paying for. I think now it seems like they're utilizing blue, and I know I've seen some white ones from people who had them previously as well. But they give those to you automatically, and also with your card. I know. I think they have like those RFID chips inside of them.
Yeah, you'll see. There's no barcode. They used to have barcodes that you would scan on your CPAS card. Now they literally hold it up to the tablet, like even when you're doing your muster drill, which is now like you don't really stand outside on the boardwalk on the decks anymore. Now you like watch it on your phone, and then you just go to your muster station. They make sure that you know how to use the life jacket and everything, and then they scan your card and you're good to go. So now they just hold your card up to the tablet. Same thing if you get a drink or do anything, they just either look up your room number or they just hold your card. It's like a tap and pay type of thing. And that's how this works as well.
Yeah, and generally for most of the things that you're doing, a lot of times even with the drinks, sometimes they'll take your card, sometimes they won't. A lot of the times, most of the things, they're generally just gonna, especially when they see your card, they see the Star Class card, they'll usually just gonna ask you for your room number, and they'll be able to pull it up in their system, and usually they won't take your card at all. I know like for the ice cream, they saw the card and they didn't need to do anything. They just like ask you to confirm like what the room number is, and they know that the ice cream like that.
Yeah, I think they have a cheat sheet. Sometimes they look like they're looking to the left of the register, and they're like, "What's your room number?" And they look real quick, and they're like, "Okay, bye, take it, you're good." At Starbucks, the same thing. I think I gave my card once, and we're on a 14-day sailing. So usually I just walk up, I order what I want, and he's like, okay, go to the end to pick it up. And a lot of them are very nice. I want to say that you do, for the most part, get recognized as a Star Class guest. Like at the restaurants, they do. I think they're really nice with everybody. I have to say, like, the staff is very friendly. But I do see a little bit of a difference when they know you're Star Class. They do step it up. They're extra pleasant. They do want to make sure that you're happy. They know you're paying for it. They want to make sure you're happy. I don't think they're being rude to any other guests when they're doing it. Not that we've seen anyway. But they are, you know, they do want to make sure that you're happy. And if you have any dietary restrictions, your Genie should be putting that in the system. You're gluten-free, any allergies, anything. I can't eat spicy food, and the Genie had that, and everywhere we went, they're like, "Hi, Miss Cheryl, you can't have spicy, right? No spicy." And that's what they say, and they know, and they work with us, and we ate at Wonderland, and I was really nervous to eat there, and I have to say the waiter was like phenomenal. Like he just went above and beyond, having everything like kind of like remade for me that wasn't spicy. So, and I mean, I think the staff has been great, but there is a difference. They definitely recognize you. Anything else with service? Are we missing anything with requests?
I think one other thing that I know was also talked about as well with the hibachi, and I believe also the chef's table. So even though those things are included with Star Class, those seem to be the most like something that gets booked up like a lot, and the Genie has less flexibility with those. So a lot of the times, if you ask your Genie, they'll actually recommend that you purchase that in your like on the Royal site, like through your sailing beforehand, so that you can, if there's like specific times that you like want to do like hibachi or to do the chef's table, so that doesn't get booked up. And then once you're on board, they'll refund that to you. That way you have like that more, you can, if you want a specific time, you can have that, and that's just specifically with the hibachi and with the chef's table. Anything else, any of the other restaurants, there's pretty much like full flexibility. You know, and even with hibachi, I think we booked one lunch before the cruise on the through the Royal website, and then once we got on board, he booked like 2 like hibachi dinners for us. It was just that, you know, the times had to be based on what was available when he did that, and we worked with that, and it was fine. And then plus, obviously, you can also have that in your room as well if the times don't work. So there's that flexibility too. With the chef's table, that is included in Star Class. The only thing that you do have to pay an additional for is an additional $25 per person for the wine, because technically the wine that they're giving you with that is like a higher priced wine than what would normally be included in the drink package that's included in your Star Class room. So that's the only additional cost that that you'd have to pay. And I did notice we had a lot of people in our seating for the chef table that like only one of the people like actually drank liquor, like drank
some
the
of them
wine.
weren't drink. They
Some of them don't
alcohol.
drink alcohol at all, and in those cases they just charge the one. Like they just charged the $125, and then the other person they didn't do it because they know they weren't drinking any alcohol.
Yeah, so they didn't pay anything because they were covered. And I have to say, the chef's table, just to give you a heads up, if you haven't done the chef's table on Symphony, I know all the ships have it in different places, so ask if you want to know where it's going to be. For us, the chef's table started in Vintages. They had us meet at 5:30. Originally it was set for 6, so they asked us to meet at 5:30 in Vintages. So we sat there and had a cocktail first and like a little appetizer, and then they took us up to the 15th floor, and the chef's table was actually set inside of the Solarium Bistro, so which is like a buffet. So it was its own table and setting, and it kind of had like it was like a center in the room. So it wasn't quiet, it wasn't intimate. If you're looking for that, it's on Symphony. It's not going to be in a small or intimate or quiet setting. So we had a table that was in the Solarium Bistro, so everybody else was like up and walking around and getting food, but we had the chef's table, so they were coming out and bringing the food to us and talking about the wines and talking about how each food was prepared, each meal, each course. So it was nice. It was a great time, especially if you have Star Class and you're really not paying much at all. If you don't drink, if you're not like a big drinker and you don't get alcohol, you don't want to do the wine, they can make you mocktails and you don't have to pay that fee. It's definitely a nice time. It's good food. It was filling. We thought it was. I thought it wasn't going to be filling. Because I thought it was going to be a bunch of small courses, but some of the courses were really very filling. I was not hungry at all, like after eating that. So it is nice. You get to sit and chat with some other people, especially like, when it happens to be people that like are other cruisers, and you hear their experiences and their history and other ships that they've been on. It was really a nice evening. So, with Star Class, take advantage of that. Take advantage of having food in your room. Take advantage of, doing the chef's table if you want. Take advantage of doing the tours. I wanted to add that if there's anything you like, we were pretty simple. We didn't really ask the Genie for much of anything. So one day I realized I forgot that they do Sudoku trivia in the mornings, and we were missing it due to like we were working on the ship and we weren't available during that time to go. And I asked the Genie if he could get us like all the Sudokus for the sailing and like leave it in our room, and they did. They gave us an abundance of Sudoku games.
Yeah, I was gonna say we didn't ask for all the Sudokus. We just asked for some Sudoku, and we literally got like Sudoku like for everything.
I think even more than our sailing. Like whatever they have in their system, I think they copied and gave us. And it was left in a packet in our room. So, like I said, if there's anything that you want, make sure you communicate it. So we did sit down with our Genie, and I asked him some questions. I asked what he finds, if they find anything demanding, or what to really expect. And I don't think he really said anybody was too demanding. He basically said what most people are pretty good, what they ask for. He said our specific Genie likes to see you having fun. So he said he knows that he sees us participating in the trivia and the shows and the games and going down the slides and enjoying everything. He's happy. So he knows if there's anything he could do to make us happy, like leaving the Sudoku in the room or helping us with room service, making us happy when we're working and he brings us the coffee. Those are the things that he likes to do. So it's not demanding if you're asking to have a party in your room or, you know, room service every day, whatever makes your vacation better, they're happy to do. And he expressed that, you know, whatever you want and ask for, they will do their best to accommodate it. So, you know, don't be upset if they come back to you and say, listen, we really can't do that. Like, it's not something we can put together. If it's something they can make happen, they will make it happen. You know, just try to remember their people, their staff, their workers. Their job is to try to, you know, make you as happy as possible, but you have to remember they have to sleep too. They have other people to attend to, so don't be upset. You know, like, you know, make sure you're asking what their hours are. You know, if it's somebody that gets up at, you know, 7 in the morning and they're available, they might not be available to do something for you at 10:30 at night or 11 p.m. or 12 p.m. So make sure you're communicating your schedule and what you expect when, you know, because if it's something you want at 11 o'clock at night, maybe they can, you know, the Genie can set it up for you where somebody else brings it to you. You know, so definitely double check with your Genie and make sure you know their schedule and they know what you want when you want it. And if you don't like something they're doing, don't tell them you hate them. They're people. So please just like communicate everything that you expect from them. Like I said, like we said earlier, just talk, you know, ask questions, talk to them, remember that they're people. You know, they want to get to know you, they want to get to know what you like, and you know, let them know what you're looking for and what's going to make your vacation the best vacation for you. Is that it? I think before we talk about debarkation. So debarkation, for usually I think they can walk you down to the terminal because we're coming from a transatlantic into the US, they're kind of being different about it. So we got these, if you're familiar with cruising, you know that you get these luggage tags with like a specific number assigned, whether you're like 2 or 20, and it dictates like when you're going to be called to leave the ship. So for Star Class, just like Suite Class, anything higher than a junior suite, you get one that says Suite and it's in red. For Star Class, you get this magenta color and it says Star. You fill it out, you put it on all your luggage, and your luggage goes out of the room. We read that, you know, instead of putting the luggage out the last night, but by 10 p.m., that we would be able to put the luggage out by 8 a.m. on the day of debarkation, but not for this sailing. I don't know if it's something they don't do at all, but for our sailing, we did have to have the luggage out by 10 p.m. Really, the Genie said by 11, the latest. We had it out before we went to dinner because we knew we were going to do dinner and shows, so we literally put it out at like 7 p.m. So he expressed that he won't be able to walk us into the terminal tomorrow morning. He's gonna walk us from Coastal Kitchen to the gangway. So we will bypass like the lines of people like standing, you know, walking to get onto the gangway. So that will be definitely quicker. The only thing is once we get to the gangway, we'll be on our own to get into the terminal and get our luggage. I don't think it's going to be bad. Usually there are separate lines and things flow pretty easily, especially with Royal Caribbean. I really feel like it's pretty organized for the most part. But you know, for your future sailings, most likely the Genie would be able to walk you off the ship and into the terminal to get you going towards your luggage. And I think that's about it. I mean, we can have breakfast in Coastal Kitchen up until 8 or 8:30. I know we have to be out of the room by 8 a.m. But Coastal Kitchen's open in the morning for breakfast, so we're gonna have breakfast there around 7. I told our Genie that we're gonna meet him around 8, or you know, we'll be there at 8 a.m. and he can walk us off. And I think that's about it. Is there anything else about the Genies?
Nope, that's everything.
I think that's it. If you have any questions or you like this video, please like and subscribe and you'll see more. Thank you.
Hello. We actually just returned back home. We realized that there were 2 other important things that we left out about Star Class, so we just wanted to add those two things on. The first thing is actually the fact that laundry is included with Star Class. You can literally send out laundry every single day and keep your clothes. I mean, if you want to rewear the same clothes or anything like that, you can send out a bag. And for Star Class, instead of the normal paper bags they give you that are kind of small and flimsy, they actually give you this very nice black cloth bag that actually holds a pretty decent amount of stuff in it.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you're on a long sailing, you can probably do, you know, every other day or every couple of days, and you can fit, you know, all the laundry that you need to in that bag. The other thing that we realized that we forgot to mention was that they also include all the on-demand movies on the TV. So if you happen to be in your room enough to sit and watch any of the on-demand things that you normally pay for, you have access to all of those included as well.
Yep. So we realized we forgot to mention that stuff in the video, so we just wanted to add this in. So again, anything on demand, video on demand, that's on your TV in your room is included, and the laundry. Take advantage of that. You don't have to go home with dirty clothes. You could do it up until your last day. If you give it to them by 11 a.m., I think you get it back same day.
Yes.
So we would always just have the bag on our table in the morning before, like when we left the room for the day. The room attendants would take it with them when they cleaned in the morning, and then they would bring it back to our room every day normally between 4:30 and 5:30. So, you know, around that time, you can expect that they ring the doorbell and hand you your laundry. Anything that they can hang up, they will. The pants are folded on a hanger. The shirts are on a hanger. The suit, dress, all of that's on a hanger. Any socks, underwear, or undershirt is folded in a paper laundry bag, so that you can just take out and put back in the drawer. And they always replace the black laundry bag. So when they take it from you in the morning, when you leave it on the table or wherever you want, they take that bag out of your room and they automatically put another black cloth laundry bag in the closet.
Along with the form that goes with it.
Along with the form. So you could start filling up a second laundry bag right away. You know, like if you want to, you know, fill up the bag for a day or so and then give it, you know, the next time you're ready. You don't have to like hold on to the dirty laundry somewhere and make a pile. You can like start using the replacement bag right away. So we thought that was a big deal, and we definitely wanted to mention it because that is a perk. It's definitely a savings if you ever see the laundry form and how much they charge to do laundry. So it's definitely like a good benefit. All right, we are home. We are tired and kind of messy. So we just wanted to add that into the video. Thank you.